it's Barbara. I'm back to share part 2 of my 2018 December daily album with you. If you're wondering where days 1 through 12 are, they are in the previous video I had just uploaded. And I will link it down below if you want to start there if you haven't seen that video first. But in this video, I'm going to share days 13 through the end of the album. So let's get started with that. Day 13 was a simple story about this new holiday sweatshirt that I purchased this year. I really liked it. It was very festive. It was super cozy. I wore it way more days than I probably should have in the month, but I absolutely loved it, so I wanted to document it. I used stamps on this spread from Kelly Perky Shop. She had released in December a stamp set called What I Wore. So it had this cute OOTD and this classic like Clooney. And then I also mixed in a couple of other stamp sets from the My Favorite Holiday set, the Highline Outline Numbers, Tina's Months, and then this is from the My Favorite Holiday stamp set. So I typed up my journaling and printed it out on vellum because I didn't think it would show up super well on this paper. So I like having the vellum and the opacity of it. And then I thought it played well with the gray of my sweatshirt. So again, another simple little spread. Oh, and the paperclip is Crepe Paper Merry Days from this year. And it's doing nothing functionally. It's just there because it's red and pretty and I wanted to use it. So use your stuff. It's fun and it's cute. So anyway, so day 14 was a spread that I did about my daughter's visit with Santa, and it also is a little bit of a way to show what her wish list is for the year. So this year I stamped the holiday monograms from Kelly Perky Shop and I embossed them. And then on the back, I had my daughter write all of the things that were on her wish list for the season. And I kind of like how that moves around and it's playful. It shows her handwriting. It shows what she wanted this year. And it was just a fun way to tell the story of what her wish list was, along with a picture of her Santa visit. So the way I did this is as you can see here, these are all tied individually on twine. And I just laid it on the card and stapled it using a full-size stapler. And then I wrapped the twine behind the paper, taped it off with just like regular tape, and then cut it. And then this page is adhered to the back of this tree paper, and then the twine is in between. And it's not super bulky and it totally works. And I really like how this little tag page came out. There's a lot of tags in my album this year, I realized when I was finishing, and I'm not mad about it. I like it. Oh, on this part of the photo, just to dress it up a little bit, I added the number, and then these stickers were all from various Kelly Perky Shop kits this year. So, oh Santa, ho ho ho, you know, simple stuff. Day 15 was a busy day for us. My daughter plays soccer, and we had a soccer match kind of far, and we ended up driving home along the river road. And as we were driving, the light was beautiful and the water was unbelievably calm and still and very reflective. And so I snapped a photo in my car. I was in the passenger seat, I wasn't driving, and I just loved it. And then when I edited it just to make it a little bit brighter and crisper, it blew up, and I loved it so much. And this month is so busy and so hectic, and it just made me really kind of slow down and pause and reflect on what was going on that day. So a simple entry about just this beautiful photo I took and the reflection and how pretty it was in the winter. So I liked it. And then because it was a single, here another transparency, this one I laid out, I made the bottom pocket first, and then before I added these embellishments, I laid it on top of the pocket, so I made sure not to cover, so it kind of works with what's below it. The polka dot transparency, I believe, was from Allie's transparency set this year. These little shaker stickers were Crepe Paper Merry Days. Love them. These stars are old. I don't know where they came from, but they worked with the stars that I put over there. Day 16 is a story about my daughter's friend birthday party. So we took the kids ice skating, and I live in California and there's no snow where we live. So the thought of being able to use anything snow related in my December daily album is always appreciated. We don't always get to the snow during December, so it's always fun to add some winter elements. It poured the day we went ice skating, so the girls only had like 45 minutes to skate before they closed the rink, but it was fun. These die cuts were from the Crepe Paper Merry Days collection. I loved the beanie hat because we gave all of the party guests little beanies and mittens to wear, so it kind of tied into that. There was a die cut in the pack that said something else, like all the twinkle lights or something, and I really, really liked it. And I'm like, I wish it said something else. So I basically copied the design in Photoshop Elements and created my own tag so it would say celebrating 11. And I love how that turned out. And then in here, I'm not going to show you all the pictures because it's my daughter and her friends, but there's just photo. I have the invitation, and then I have a good bit of journaling about the day. So, you know, these are for us to look back on. And, you know, when in doubt, print photos and clip them with a clip and stick them in a pocket. It seems to be my favorite way of adding in a lot of photos into this album. So, oh, to create the pocket, I just used a piece of, this is like shimmery vellum. And then I just kind of cut it on an angle and wrapped it around a piece of 12 by 12 paper that I cut down to 6 by 8. This is old Ellie Studio holiday paper from, gosh, 4 or 5 years ago. But I liked the blue. It kind of mimicked the blue snowflake in the sign. So thought that was cute. So fun way to maximize. Day 17 is a story about wrapping day. I got everything wrapped really early this month, which I was really happy about. This was a paper I picked up at Target and I loved it. So I just wanted to snap a picture of some of the, these are the tags I used this year and some of the ribbon. So it's just a fun way to document a fun paper that I got. Day 18, I always try to put a photo of our Christmas tree in. So today I did that. My daughter, the older she gets, the less holiday fun stuff she brings home from school. So she showed me this. She goes, Mom, I drew a tree, and I loved it. So I'm like, can I have it? And so what I did is I scanned it in my scanner and so I could get the shape, and then I flipped it in Photoshop so I could type up my journaling. So I taped this is the piece that she drew. So I taped it to, or adhered it to the front of this tree transparency, which was from Ali Edwards this year. And then I created a secondary sheet that's the reverse side, typed up all my journaling, printed it out, and like fussy cut around it so it was kind of the exact same size and shape of the front side. And then I added a couple of rubber pieces. This was from the Paisley Press mini kit. These are Felicity Jane. I don't know where that tree came from. So it was just, I didn't want to journal all the way up to where it was tiny. So I kind of pulled it down, and then I left this blank space specifically knowing I would put something in there, and that's what I put in there. And then just a tree, a photo of our tree in our family room. It's not the whole tree because it's like the side of the tree, but that's okay. Trying to do something different with my photos this year and not take the same picture over and over again. So I liked that you could see the mantle and this little frosty that we love. So there's that. Day 19, she wanted to add something to her stocking again this year. We don't do it every year, but we've done it the last few years. And since we had just gone to Hawaii, she wanted to add a plumeria to her stocking. So this is just a super simple photo and a little bit of story. This was a Kelly Perky stamp. Fun. We hosted my daughter's soccer team for a Secret Santa party. So this is just a simple little entry for that. This is a Kelly Perky shop page. So it was easy, just added text, simple photo, done. This was our holiday baking day. We invited some friends over to make Santa cookies. They did it with us last year, so we decided to do it again. I created a traveler's notebook spread using some Kelly Perky stamps. So I used my own self as inspiration and recreated these tags again and made another pocket so I could add in more photos from the night. There's, journaling and a bunch of other photos, again, of the other kids that were here. So that was fun. And then I made sure to take a finished picture of my daughter's cookies so I could include it. She loves to make these cookies, and it's something my mom did with me with my brother and I when we were kids, and it uses that egg yolk paint. You paint it on the cookies when the cookies are still raw, and then you bake it, and creates this really pretty like stained glass look on the cookies. So it's fun, something we like to do every year. Day 22 was our third and final movie that I was going to include in my December daily this year. And obviously we went and saw Mary Poppins, and all three of us absolutely loved it. So I mimicked exactly what I did with the Grinch page. I found an image of her where she was just like falling off the page or peeking out. And then I clipped our tickets and typed up the journaling before I printed it. And it was super, super simple. And then for day 23, I had a single page, and I separated the two with this really cute, I hope you can see it, this really cute transparent piece that says Merry and Bright. It was from Studio Calico last year. So I just punched two little holes here and put it directly in the album instead of using a full page transparency sheet. And I created a little, I don't know if you can see it, a little tiny little flag here that you could grab. And then this ho 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 little, I don't know if it's a brad or what it is, this puffy fabric little doodad. It said ho ho ho, and it kind of went with the little silly pictures that are below it. So I liked that little separation. And again, I loved all the red from this whole spread. So you flip that over. And then on day 23 was the day we were getting ready. Our family was coming the next day. So we were cleaning and just prepping the house and prepping food and getting a bunch of stuff ready. So it wasn't, you know, super exciting day. It was just kind of a housework day. So one thing we did do in between cleaning was obviously taking stupid Snapchat selfies with Santa hats. And I loved these pictures. They were super cute. So when I sat down and created the page, I turned them into photo strips, kind of like a photo booth. And hindsight, I wish I had us do different poses because I only had, you know, one image of each of us. So I just basically used the same picture, but created two little photo strips, just varying the position, just to kind of fill the space a little bit more, because one little photo strip here wouldn't have filled the page enough as far as I'm concerned. So I liked how it looks, and it makes me laugh, and I love these pictures. They're funny. So to dress it up, I used this year in the dollar spot at Target, they had patches so you could create your own ugly sweaters. And some of the patches were really nice. And this little heart patch I loved because it went with the red. This holiday selfie chipboard came in the Paisley Press mini kit this year. So I used that. And then I just added a little strip of journaling here and called it done. Day 24 was Christmas Eve, obviously. It's the day my family arrived. Forgive me for this silliness here, but I'm just trying to, you know, not blast my whole family all over if they don't want to be. So I created this double page spread for Christmas Eve. These templates and word art is from Paisley Press, their digital shop. And I liked the template. I loved the brush script altogether. And then a very Merry Christmas. This said a very Merry Christmas. I added the word Eve from another set of her word art. Just dragged it over to create because it was Christmas Eve. I created this little tiny, it's like 3.5 by 8, little card to hold the story. And then on the back, I put, you know, the traditional photo of her opening her pajamas and then the mantle all ready for Christmas Eve. And I love how this came out, and it was such a fun night, and we were so happy to have our family here, and it just means the world to us because they travel a lot and they don't always live near us. So having them when we get them is just the best gift of the season. So it meant a lot to me. Christmas Day, the big day. I did this photo with Simone the last couple of years, and it always ends up being really fun. So after all the gift opening, I'm like, lay in the paper. So she laid in the paper. This little chipboard piece came from the Paisley Press kit this year. And then, of course, obviously, I had way too many photos to include. So I used, this is a vellum little bag. It's from Cosmo Cricket. It's so old, and I think I had a whole pack of them, and I've used them in almost all of my albums, and I think I have one left, so I'm really kind of sad. So it's a perfect spot to hold extra photos. So this 25 little transparency piece was from my stash. I don't remember where it came from. This is from the Merry Days crepe paper collection. It was a die cut. And then there's another one of the star clips. There was a set of clips, and there was 2 of each. So I used both of the stars, and I really liked them. And then I have a bunch of photos from the day in here, family photos, everybody that was here, whatnot. And I love at putting in a ton of extra photos from Christmas, and it's just a fun way because you can take them out and flip through them. I created a journaling card for the front. This is a 3x4 card from In a Creative Bubble, and the original design, this edge is like a bright yellow, which was beautiful, but I wanted it to be pink, so I just recolored it, increased the size, so I had tons of space for the story of the day. And those all just get slipped right back in the little envelope, and you can kind of see through it, which is kind of fun. And then the paper that I used for the back here is Crepe Paper Merry Days as well. So it kind of all ties in with this, and I liked it. So then basically the album is over. It's done. I only go to 25. So, you know, yay. So much fun. And I wanted to end it in some fashion. So this is that same text that I used on this Peace, Love, and Mary. It's the same text that came from this card. Basically, it was a Traveler's Notebook kit. It was called the Oh What Fun kit from Kelly Purkey. You can still get the printables on her website. I'll link that below. So this was a 4x8 sheet of paper, and obviously I wanted it to be 6x8. Actually, I think this one is bigger. It's like 6.5 by 7 or something like that, as I recall. So basically what I did is I opened that paper in Photoshop Elements, cropped out the Peace, Love, Merry Magic with the birds, put it on a new document that was a more bright red, since I wanted a more vibrant red. The card, I think, was more of a muted kind of orangey red. Pretty, but I wanted red. And then I just deleted the background, so I just had the words and made them white. I'm probably making this sound really complicated, but it's not. It's super easy to create this page. Obviously, I added the white border and whatnot. Added a couple of gold stars, and that was just something to put on the back of this because I didn't want to leave it plain. And then over here, we have, I mentioned on day one, we have Twinkle, the elf, comes and visits, my daughter every year for Christmas. And I take photos every day of what Twinkle does. And it's always like, what am I going to do with the Twinkle pictures? So over the last couple of years, I've always been doing something at the end of the album to include the pictures. The first full year we had her, I put them in the album. Like I did 7 days of photos each, every 7 days I would show. And that was great, but it would limit me on the amount of stories I could tell in the album because I was using space for that. So I like to create something separate at the end of the album. And this year I made like a little traveler's notebook to hold all the pictures. So this is just a plain like glassine bag that's taped to the back of the inside cover of the album. And then this is an old rubber piece from last year's Allie Edwards kit. And then another similar little gold star. In here is a letter that Twinkle gave to my daughter when she left, and then the welcome note that she gave her when she arrived. So I always save that kind of stuff, so that goes in the envelope. And then this is the little traveler's notebook that I created to hold all the pictures. So this is Paisley Press digital paper that I created, the front cover. So it's basically like an 8 1/4 or 8.5 by 8 1/4 little square. So I printed out this backing paper. And then this digital word art is from a Kelly Purkey kit, the Oh What Fun kit that Tina Life Love Paper designed, same where this was from. This was the stamp set that was included in the kit. And she had a couple of sentiments that were elf related. So I put that on the front. So I printed out on my color printer the backing paper and then this elf shenanigans. And then I took that sheet of cardstock, walked over to my laser printer, stuck it in as a manual feed, and then printed the word Twinkle. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to mink it and add the red foil. And the mink foil will stick to anything that's laser printed. So I didn't want to print the elf shenanigans too because I didn't want that foiled. I only wanted Twinkle. So do you get what I'm saying there? So then I just folded this in half. I only have the 6-inch mink. I don't have the full size. So I folded it in half and just ran it through the mink and added the red foil, and it came out great. And this word art for the word Twinkle came from a digital file I've had for a while. It's from the designer Gina Cabrera. And, since our elf's name is Twinkle, it works great. So to create the inside of the little notebook, I used 4 sheets of vellum that I cut to size and folded in half, and then used a long arm stapler to staple the sheets to the cover. So I made them vellum because I didn't want it to be too thick and I wanted it to be a little bit more see-through. And since I had used so much vellum throughout the album, I thought it was a nice way to complement all of those other entries. So then what I did is I created on part of that Oh What Fun Traveler's Notebook kit was a sheet that looked like this. I modified it a little bit just to make this box a little bit taller, so I had room for this word art. And again, this was from the stamp set that came in the Oh What Fun kit, but I had it digitally, so I did that. And then I don't always do this, but because I had all this journaling space, I went through and wrote out what the elf did every day. It was just a simple description of what was going on. And then in the back, so then when you turn the sheet, the pages, it starts with day 1. There's 6 days on each entry. And I just printed out the photos, figured out at first how many I could get on, and I knew I could get 6. So I fit the 6 images per page. And when I have forgotten so many times in previous years to take pictures of the elf, so I'm pretty disciplined now about it, and I try to always make sure to take a vertical and a horizontal image because I never know how I'm gonna do the photos at the end of the year or the end of the season. So if I have both, then I'm always set up for success in case I wanted to do something with a landscape photo. I hardly ever use landscape photos, but you never know. You might need it. So I just shoot a vertical and a horizontal every day. This year, I ended up doing, posting the images on Instagram stories, and I dated each image. So I ended up using those Instagram stories images for this instead of the ones that I shot because I wanted to include the date, because then I wouldn't have to date each image. It's really, the text is super small. Trust me, it's hard to read, but I don't care because I have the list on the front that says everything that happened if you're really curious. And, you know, most people are going to know it's in date order. So I just have 4 pages of 6 images that flip through. And then I just use vellum adhesive to adhere this down onto the vellum. So that's really it. And then you get to the end and here's the last day. I have 1 extra sheet. I didn't do anything to it because what else can you say, you know? It's kind of done. So that is how I handled all of the twinkle pictures this year. And then that just slides in. Anybody can pull it out and take a look. And it's just a nice way to keep it contained. And then this envelope that I keep, I just slide it back. And so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, and if you have any questions about anything that I shared in either video, you can feel free to comment down below and I'll answer any and all questions that I can. And I really appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos, and I hope to be back soon sharing a little bit more. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but you never know. And I will let everybody know, probably Instagram or the blog, if I post anything. And if you want to subscribe, great. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I just do these walkthroughs because it's fun and people want to see a look at them. So I don't have any grand plans for YouTube, but you never know. But thank you for subscribing if you are, and for watching, and I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you soon. Thanks so much.